Welcome to the Student Success Stories podcast, the podcast where we spotlight academic success at Baylor University. Today we have Payton on the podcast to talk some more about the Academic Resiliency course at Baylor. We touch on some other resources Baylor has for students needing academic support, such as tutoring and SI. I had a great time hearing Payton's personal journey with academic resiliency, and I think there's a lot we can learn from her story. For this and much more, stay tuned. Welcome to the Student Success Stories podcast. We are here with Payton to talk about the Academic Resiliency Program. Payton, if you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Payton. I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This fall semester, I'm going to be a second semester junior. I'm hoping to graduate December 22. I'm an anthropology major with a concentration in forensics. And yeah,
Cool.
I love being here at Baylor.
Sweet. What made you want to go to Baylor?
Well, coming from Wisconsin, my main priority was looking for a school that didn't have snow. Um, yes, and then I toured Baylor my junior year of high school, and I fell in love with the atmosphere. You know that cliche. You'll know when you find the right school. I totally had that feeling when I toured the campus. And then, getting to meet some of my professors and some of my peers, I just felt at home.
Yeah, I feel you. I remember touring Baylor because my sister came here first, and the tour was just really impressive, and it was really pretty. It was really hot, but
Yeah.
it's okay. But I guess we'll just start off with, how did you hear about the Academic Resiliency Program?
So I heard about it through my advisor, and then Miss Thompson reached out to me. I struggled really hard my freshman year, grade wise. I didn't reach out to my professors if I was struggling, and I didn't really know about any of the academic centers that I could go to, like the Success Center or the Writing Center in the library. I knew of them, but I guess I was embarrassed to go. So after struggling my freshman year, I was put on academic probation, and that's when Miss Thompson reached out and was like, "Hey, you really should take this class of mine." And it's the strategic learning class.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, fine, um, and I went in, and that class just helped me get back on track with my academics. This past year was the best academic year that I've had at Baylor. I got a 3-point above average GPA,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a great feeling when you know that oh, I'm gonna be okay now.
Yeah.
And yeah, Miss Thompson was great. She helped me through my academic struggles, and then the other kids in the class. It's nice to know that you're not the only one dealing with struggles, adjusting from high school to college, being away from home. So it was really nice to find a little community that we could help each other.
Were you able to keep in contact with some of the people you met in that class?
Oh yeah. We had a group chat, just to make sure that we were getting our assignments done, making sure that we were working together, trying get together to go to the library to study, just so that you get in kind of a routine, class, whatever you need to do. Then as soon as 5 o'clock hits, all right, library time, that's where I'm going to be. That's where we're all going to be. We're going to be third floor, moody, and crank out homework. So
what does taking that class look like? What do they teach?
so so the strategic learning class, it's kind of um like intro to working hard at academics in college. It's
Mhm.
kind of what it is. It's kind of like a little boot camp class. So you learn, time management skills, study skills. But the root of that class is, why are you here at college? And why are you, putting forth this effort? And what is your main goal? Like, what is your main goal, in life, I guess?
Yeah.
It's the class really made me realize that what I do here in my undergrad and then like moving forth if you go elsewhere after college, it's all building blocks to the kind of future that I want. And one day in class, Miss Thompson like had us she had us draw what we wanted our futures to look like, and she like handed out crayons. And I'm just kind of thinking, this is ridiculous. Like this is like I'm in college and I have to draw.
Yeah.
And I guess I kind of like I drew like my dream life, nice house, a big family, and then she was like, okay, well, you realize that you have to work hard right now to achieve this, otherwise you won't get this. And I guess it was one of those like turning points for me where I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like I need to get my act together, because if I want to have a successful future, like it starts now.
Yeah, like, it seems so simple, but it's good that they put that out there. So
Yeah, yeah, it seems like so simple that I should have like realized that right away. um, but I guess it just took a little like time and I guess realization for me to be like, oh, so what I'm doing like right now is just that important. Like I can't just put it off. I can't be like, oh, I'll do better next year, or I'll get it together next semester. Every moment that you're here in college is like so important, and you have to like make it worth something.
yeah, and it can seem like it's okay when you get a couple C's, but then they start stacking up and they affect
Mhm.
your GPA, and it's so hard to recover from that. Like, once you
Yeah.
do start to, like, figure things out, you're but, fixing your GPA takes a while, so it's really important to, like, get ahead of that. Who would you say that the program is for?
Everyone.
Everyone?
The There was freshmen in the class. There was sophomores, juniors, seniors, business majors, people on the pre-med track, pre-law, just secondary education majors. It's literally for everyone. Personally, I think that like everyone should take it freshman year, um, just so you, just so that you get the tool, like you get all of the tools that you need to be able to succeed in college,
Yeah.
rather than being thrown into college life and not necessarily knowing that it's okay to go to the success center and get a tutor. It's encouraged. Going to the success center and asking, for tutoring will help you succeed in the future and get a good grade in the class to earn an A, so your GPA is good, so that you can graduate and
Mhm.
further your career. Success, it starts now. It starts in college, um, and you learn about all of that in the class. And one thing that we're like encouraged to do in the class is after a test, if you didn't get the grade you wanted, they give you a sheet of like questions, and you go to your professor and you just run through all the questions with your professor, and you're like, what can I do better? What do I need to work on? Do you have any advice? And it's just something to help you start that conversation with your professor, because I mean, any successful student here at Baylor will tell you that they have great relationships with all of their professors.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, Freshman year, talking to my professor was like taboo.
No, yeah.
Like, yeah, I was like, oh, I can't talk to them.
It's
Um,
nerve-wracking. It's
yeah,
a lot. It can be, like, intimidating to speak to your professor, especially if it's a big class.
exactly. Exactly. But no, this class gives you all the right tools to like build that confidence, to form great relationships with your professors. So then if you start to struggle in a class, your professor's right there with you the entire time and like wanting to help you succeed, but then also yourself wanting to reach out so that you can also succeed.
Yeah, that makes sense. Before you took this class, or were involved with the academic resiliency program, did you have other methods that you tried to use to improve your academics?
Yeah, I mean, when I started to see my grades slipping, I just thought that, oh, that meant I needed to, study more
Mhm.
or keep on, rereading my notes and, going over like study review sheets, the PowerPoints. But it wasn't working for me because what I thought was important in the class maybe wasn't what would be on the test.
Hmm.
And if I had, gone to the professor and been like, hey, I'm struggling with this, this, and this. Can you break it down for me? Can you, show me what I need to focus more on? It would have made all of the difference.
Yeah. So what type of study methods or I guess ways of learning did you learn from the program that worked instead or worked better?
It's time management when it comes to studying. That's what I took the most from the class. It's just breaking down all of the material that you learn and going over it like little bits every day. And then when you know you have a test coming up, create a study plan so that you go over everything that you learned a week leading up to the test. So by the time, the night before the test, you can just look through all your notes and you're like, oh, well, okay, I'm good. I
Hmm.
already know all this because I've been studying it, every day for small amounts of time rather than, waiting 2, 3 days before the exam and just trying to cram in as much information as you can because
Yeah.
some classes that may work, but most classes here, it's a lot of information and you do need that time. And I think it's just, structuring a study plan just every day and then just doing like 15 minutes of one subject, of one section, and then moving on to another one. But then coming back, in a few hours while it's still fresh and then being like, okay, yes, I remember that. I remember that.
So, where do you think most students, probably mostly freshmen who aren't really used to the college way of learning, like where do you think they go wrong most of the time? Where they might let their grades slip or they weren't sure how college worked? Like, where do you think most people go wrong?
Mm, It's either thinking that you can do it on your own and you don't need help. In high school, it's really easy to not put in a lot of effort to pass a class.
Mm,
Um, but you're also taking that class, every day. Here you only have class maybe like 3 times a week at most. Other classes meet once a week, and you're expected to go back to class as if there wasn't like a day or two break.
mm,
So it's a lot more information in a limited time, you learn in college. Um, so it's super important that you either get study groups or I should say like constructive study groups.
yeah.
Studying with your friends is fun, but it's way more important to study with either classmates in that class or people that can help you. Going to um, SI is amazing. Everyone should be going to SI and just like getting into a routine with people you feel comfortable studying with and that are not going to distract you, and that want to help you succeed and see you succeed, and then like you want to see them succeed.
Mhm.
Those are like the healthy relationships that you need
Yeah,
when wanting to succeed in a class.
compared to just studying with your same group of friends, in the moody Starbucks where you will probably get distracted. Even though
Exactly,
you want to,
exactly,
but it's probably not the best thing to do. And
exactly.
if you had any advice to give to students that are struggling this semester, what would it be?
It would be, reach out to your professors and then reach out to the success center. Um, your professors don't want to see you fail. They want you to succeed. And the teachers and mentors in the success center are the same way. And they're only going to give you, constructive criticism and positive feedback.
Mhm.
Because, you are here at Baylor. That's your time and your money is being spent here. So you need to use that, you know, use it the most, to your advantage. And every resource that's here is here to help you succeed. So take advantage of it.
Yeah, why not?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that was good advice. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us today. It was great to have you on. Did you have anything you wanted to shout out or say to the people before we go?
Um, if you ever get the absolute pleasure of taking a class with Miss Thompson, she is the best. She helped me so much. I would not be here um, if I hadn't met her.
Yeah.
She she kind of like held my hand and guided me a little bit when I like really needed some guidance, and it's such a great feeling knowing that there's like Baylor staff that just cares so much about the betterment of students here at campus.
Mhm.
So it's a great feeling, and I hope you get a chance to meet her.
She's a wonderful lady. I definitely recommend.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us and thank y'all for tuning in. Sick and Bears. Thank you for tuning in to the Student Success Stories podcast. You can listen to our previous episodes on iTunes, or you can find us on Instagram and YouTube at Student Success Stories. Would you like to be featured on the podcast? DM us on Instagram. Thank you for listening, and Sick and Bears.